Hello, everyone. Welcome to With Heart and Soul podcast. You're listening to your host, David and Jacky. Hi, David.
Hello.
So, we just had to hit record because we were chatting and we were like, we can't even catch up without hitting record because we're going to tell you guys if we talk about it all. But yeah, we were just talking about Thanksgiving and I just told David everything about mine and he was about to tell me about his. So, go on.
Oh, yes, to put me on the spot. Our Thanksgiving was cool. I went to my aunt and uncle's place. It was funny because I was talking to my brother. He's in Florida right now. I was asking him if he was coming down, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to aunt and uncle's place." They're like, "Oh, it's gonna be a lot of people there," and I was like, "There probably will be a lot of people there." But then actually, it was small. I was really surprised. Like my aunt was like, "No, she only invited a couple people." She did cook a lot of food though, but but she only invited a couple people, and it was cool. And then we ended up playing Taboo, and we were home by like 8:30. We didn't stay out too late. And then the next day we went to. My wife was like, "Hey, let's go treat ourselves. Let's at least get a little something." And I was like, "All right, fine." So we went to this restaurant in Underground Atlanta. Underground Atlanta is like this little famousy place. They're trying to revitalize it,
Mhm.
like new shops and stuff. So there's a space called Cheesecake. If you're in the Atlanta area, I definitely recommend you go in there. The lady, she makes like specialty made cheesecakes, but she also does milkshakes. So we got milkshake and we got like a small little personalized cheesecake. It was like cupcake size. So it was delicious. It was definitely delicious. And then I was like, we were talking about how we kind of fell off the wagon a little bit with food wise, but I was telling Jackie, I was like, yeah, Monday I just got back on track. So so yeah, that was my Thanksgiving, but I know yours was pretty cool as well. This was you had a at home Thanksgiving and you were cooking.
Mhm.
And I was scrolling through her IG and I saw like all the stuff that she made. And I was like, oh, this looks delicious. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about your Thanksgiving since you put me on the spot.
Um, well, wait, you said you guys got ice cream. Now you said cheesecake. Which one is it?
So it's a cheesecake store, but they also have milkshakes as well.
Oh, okay.
So it milkshakes as well. So yeah.
I see. Well, yeah, we had Thanksgiving at my house. We didn't have anyone over. It was just me, Jackie, and the kids. My kids went to their dad's for a few hours. They left from like 10 to 2. And then when they got back, I cooked at that time. And I think we ate around like 5:30 or so. And then we watched Elf after that.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, that's actually my favorite movie. But my kids were not being quiet during the movie, so I sent them away
Oh,
so I could watch it. So yeah, they were being super rude. And yeah, after that, we pretty much went on a junk food binger like for the next couple of days. Like I legit did not leave my house and I was in sweatpants and just eating everything for a couple of days. By the time Monday rolled around, like I didn't want anything. Like I didn't even want food. I'm like, what should I eat? What is food? But yeah, I'm back on my fruits and veggies kick. So that's
yeah, we were talking about this earlier that, sometimes when you indulge and you break away from like the routine of especially like eating more healthier, you kind of get tired of like the junk food. You get tired of like the bad food because if for me, I don't know for you, but it makes me kind of sluggish. Like it makes me move very slow. I feel like I'm like 20,000 pounds heavier, and it's like, oh man, like I gotta get back to like the simple stuff, like the simple things to eat. And I don't know if it's the same thing for you, but that's definitely for me.
oh yeah, for sure. I kept saying I feel hefty on Monday. Um, and Jackie was like, I feel hefty too, and so does everybody else. Like everybody was bloated on Monday. So
Yeah.
if you were bloated on Monday, it's normal. It will go away. Drink some water.
Yeah, I completely agree. I definitely felt bloated, and then it didn't help because I flew yesterday. I went to New York yesterday morning.
Mhm.
Woke up at 3, worked out, and then got on the flight that left at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know, I I knew it was gonna be bad because it was Monday and people are now going back home. But I was so shocked. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning when I got to the airport, and it was packed. And I'm not even. This is Atlanta airport. Atlanta's airport is like the most busiest airport in the world. It was packed at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, "This is 5 o'clock in the morning. What are you guys doing up?" Like it was kids, it was parents, it was people, and I was like, "What is going on?" And then I got to New York, came back to the flight, came back from New York into Atlanta, and the airport was still packed. I was like, that is why I don't travel during the holidays, because holiday traveling is like a whole nother level.
Mhm.
But thankfully I got home and everything like that. So yeah, it was just crazy Monday for me. I know for you, I know you said that you felt like a little sluggish and things of that nature, but were you productive?
Well, I had to go to work, so that was nice because when you work from home, you just kind of stay in the one same spot on the couch and you don't move. But since I had to go into the office, I know I got a lot of steps in, so that was nice. Um, yeah, and I was back to my healthy eating and back to eating like on a routine. Like I eat breakfast at the same time, then lunch at the same time, and dinner. And it was like three healthy meals, so that
Mhm.
makes me feel better.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we got to get you to eat breakfast. So
Yes,
thought about
yes,
that.
yes. Yesterday, my wife even asked me, when I got back home, she was like, "Oh, did you eat?" And I was like, "It was hard. It was hard because of the fact that um the place I was going and the airport was like at least an hour away, but it's New York City, and New York City traffic is terrible. So what was supposed to take an hour took 2 hours. So literally, I literally got to the place I was going right before, like I actually got there like 10 minutes late. And then the place when I got to the airport, I even left early. I left early. Like the flight boarded at 3:30. I left at 1:30 and I got there at 3:20. So I literally had no time to eat at all. But
Yeah.
thankfully, my wife got us some food. So when I got home, I definitely ate. And I did eat earlier today. So I'm doing better. I didn't eat breakfast, but I did do better. So I did eat.
Uh,
So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I getting there. I know. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with me. But we have a topic for today. We have a topic for today. And this is going to be an interesting topic because I feel like it's very broad, but also it can be very specific depending on what you talk about. So it's all about friendships. It's all about friendships and what do you do with your friendships? How do you sustain a friendship? How do you let go of a friendship? How do you know when there is a friendship? All these different aspects. So, Jacky, my question for you, as we were talking about this a little bit earlier about the friendship aspect, as I was talking for you, like thinking about you and thinking about this topic, what do you consider a friend? What do you consider a good friend? Don't shake your head. Well, for the
um,
people that's listening, she's shaking her head.
yeah. Can you hear me okay? Because I'm like trying to sit back, but I moved my mic like onto my lap.
I
But
can hear you. Yeah.
my sound good? Okay.
Mm.
But anyways, I just told my friend like a few minutes ago that this week's episode is going to be about navigating friendships, and I'm like, how ironic because I don't know anything about that. But I do. I have a lot of high expectations for friends, and I don't want to hurt any of my friends' feelings that are listening to this.
Uh-oh.
But
Disclaimer.
oh, like that. But like sometimes I say I don't have any friends because I personally don't feel like there's anyone in my life that I'm super close to that I talk to like every day. Where I have had that before. Like I've had friends that I saw every single day, that I talk to every single day, and I don't have that. So I'm kind of lost between like, is that normal because we're all adulting, or what is it? But I think friends is a very loose term also. So
Mm,
it can be a very loose term for me. Right now, presently, I feel like a lot of my friends are Jackie's friends.
mm.
So for any of Jackie's friends that are listening, which they're the only people out of my friends who actually listen, I don't like actually know what like where those friendships will fall if we did break up. Like, are those her friends or are they mine? Because she's had these friends for like probably 10 years or more. Like, she has a deep, solid friendship with them. So I can see why it only makes sense for her partner to be friends with them. But I don't know what would happen if we broke up. So still in my head, they're Jackie's friends, even though they are my friends right now as well. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna stop there for now.
That's tough. That is tough because it's kind of like you're at a crossroads. Like, of course, hope and wish and pray you guys stay together forever. But the worst case scenario, like if you guys do separate, who would you consider a friend out of all the friends that you have? I think that would be a little bit interesting. But I as I said, I'm rooting for you guys, and I hope that you don't have to have those type of discussions or those type of situations. But yeah, I guess it is tough. Like having, I guess for you, as you said, having those friends that you could claim as your own. It's like, okay, these are my friends, and especially with like my relationship with me and my wife, we do have our own friends. I mean, of course. I invite her to all the friends outings that I have, and she invites me to her friends outings, and we do it that way. But I definitely have more friends than she does. I will say that because of the fact that I am more. I wouldn't say I can be reserved, but she's more reserved than I am. Like she's fine being with herself. She's fine having one or two friends, and that's it. For me, I like to check on people. I like to see how people are doing. I like to make sure everybody's cool, everybody's good. And I do have a bigger scope of friends. I got church friends. I got friends that I went to college with. I got friends that I went to high school with. I got friends that I met through traveling. I got friends that and I got friends that I met through traveling and meeting their spouses like you. So
Right.
it's so I have so many different dynamics and things of that nature. She's not really that close with her family. I'm close with a select few group people that I am with my family. So I do talk to him on a frequent basis. So I do have more friends that I would consider. But at the same time, I have lost some friends. Not that they've died, not that we've had some bad situations, but it's just like we are not in touch anymore. And as you said, I think the most powerful thing you said is like adulting. Like we are getting older. Like I'm 30, so and some people literally have kids right now. Some people don't have kids right now, but they don't they don't associate with me anymore. And it's like, how can I keep that friendship? I can't keep that friendship alive if they're not willing to keep it alive. And it's tough. It's tough. I think it's something that I always think about. Is like something my dad said, and a lot of older people that are like aunts and uncles and stuff like that. They say like once you get older, the friends that you consider, the people that you consider friends, are going to get smaller and smaller. And I'm just like, nah, that's crazy. That's not going to happen. But as I see it, like once you do get older, people get busy, as you said. People have kids, people are married, people are doing their immediate family things, and maybe you only see them once or twice a year. And sometimes they don't have enough time and energy to contact you with things of that nature. I don't agree with that at all. I feel like if you care about somebody, you should give enough effort to meet with them, and talk to them. And not even meet with them, talk to them. But yeah, it does get different. It's different. So yeah, friendships are tricky.
They are. That's funny because the dynamic you and your wife have sounds like the same dynamic that me and Jackie have. Like she has a lot of friends and she's also close with her family, so she has like a lot of people that she talks to, whereas I don't have many friends at all. And I also like have anxiety and depression, and like I don't have the energy to keep in touch with people. And I also don't talk to my family. So she definitely has way more friends than me. And just like you, like she has friends from going here, there, and everywhere. And she just talks to everybody. So she's literally like a people magnet. And I'm not. And that's been hard for me because it's hard for me not to compare myself to my partner. Like, it's just like, oh, she has a life of her own and she has a social life, and I don't. And I constantly just feel like I need to get a life. And like all of my friends are moms. So me trying to get together with them is like such a monumental event. I can't just like pick up and go where she can like pick up and go.
Yeah.
And I'm also a mom too, of course. So everything is like scheduled. Like I just went to brunch with two of my friends, I think like 2 weeks ago. And when we scheduled it, it was 4 weeks out from the day that we had discussed it.
Wow. Wow.
And then there's people you make plans with and they just don't show up. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, like I'm in a place in my life where I'm not pouring into people more than they pour into me, because when I am wanting to have a friendship with someone, I am like very committed. Like I think I'm an amazing friend, but I'm not going to give that to anyone who I know isn't going to give it to me. And it could be for whatever reason, because they're a mom or they're busy with their own life or whatever. But regardless, I'm just not going to do it if they're not doing it for me. So
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree about that. And I mean, it gets difficult and it gets tricky, as I said, because it's like,
mhm.
yeah, we're getting older, but at the same time, that doesn't mean just because you get older and things start, you get busier, it doesn't mean you shouldn't put enough you should just stop putting the effort into the friendship, because a friendship is a relationship as well. Like I like to stress that a lot with people that I talk to. It's like, yeah, you have a friend, but at the same time, it's work. It's work. Is you have to put the effort into it and to keep it lasting. And when you start to see someone change, and for whatever reason that they're going through, maybe they feel like that you guys are on different paths now, or maybe they feel like you change or things of that nature, and it kind of just drifts off. You kind of do feel some type of way about it. It's like, dang, weren't we just buddies like a month ago? Weren't we just talking like every day, or we were just having a good time, and we saw each other every day and we were doing great, and then boom, like you don't talk to them anymore. And it's funny because just talking about that, like I think about a friend. Like I was literally, we were roommates for like a good part of college, and we were super close, and we spent a lot of time together. And as soon as we both graduated, I mean, I would put the effort out there, and it's not even like just me, but we had a good like circle of friends. We had a good block of friends, and I was just like, hey, have you spoke to so and so? And it's like, yeah, we invited him to this, that, and the third, but he never showed up, or he never responded back. And I'm just like, and it did hurt. It did hurt for a minute, because I'm just like, dang, like, okay, well, do I have to try harder? Do I have to you know hit him up more or see how he's doing more? But then I think I was reading this, maybe a book or something of that nature, and I was just like, I just realized, like, okay, if someone wanted to be there with you, or someone wanted to be a friend with you, or spend time with you, you would see some effort in something, in anything. And it's just like, that's true. And sometimes it does hurt when you get to the point where, okay, I thought this person was a good friend, but then now, we're distant strangers. And as you said, when you first started talking about friendships, that maybe we do have to relabel who we consider friends.
Mhm.
Not to say that they're bad people. It's just that we have to start labeling them differently. Like, okay, I know this person is an acquaintance, or I know this person is someone I'm cordial with when I meet with them, or I see them in the streets. So like, okay, hey, how you doing? Like, how's everything? Okay, cool. And you guys go about your business. But I think you do hurt yourself more when you try to consider acquaintance, or you consider a colleague, or someone that you're cordial with as a friend, because then you have the expectations and it starts to hurt you. So
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. I really like crave like strong friendships where like both people are putting in work to like build a relationship. Like it is a relationship. And I feel like people want to have friends but don't want to put in the relationship aspect of it. And that's just not the way it works. And I know that this is possible. Like mostly I see things like this on TV, like the show Friends. If you're familiar with that. But there's a lot of shows on TV that portray friends that are more like family, and I want that because I don't talk to my family. So I want friends that become family to me, which I do not have yet. Again, sorry to anyone that might offend, but I don't feel like I have that yet. But I feel like I will someday, and that's what I'm looking for. And I know that that takes time to build, but I also know people in real life that have friends that they're like brother and sister, like they are family. And so I know that these things are possible. But also, I had a best friend for like quite a few years, and I usually do not like reach out to people to try to be friends with them, but for some reason with this girl, I did. And the entire time in our friendship, I always felt like it was me like putting in more and just kind of waiting for her to give me just a little bit. And then she would, and I'd have a great time. And then it was just like the constant like push and pull type of friendship. And I actually ended up working at the same job as her, and she would legitimately walk by me at that job like she didn't even know me. Like, I always received really mixed signals from her, and I just never understood. Like, I just did not get it. But anyways, they always say that when you go through a breakup, you see who your real friends are. Well, this is when that friendship finally ended. But now that I'm on the other side, I can see things for what they are. And it was just always me giving and giving and giving, and her like not willing to put in anything at all. And I would talk to her about my feelings and say, like, you make me feel like this and things like that. And she just was not down for the conversation. So this is what I mean. Like, friendships doesn't mean that you don't share your feelings with each other. You are going to hurt your friends' feelings, and you need to be willing to listen to that and have that conversation.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I mean, just like you having a relationship with your significant other, you're not going to always agree on things. You're
Mhm.
not always going to see eye to eye. But at the same time, you have to be willing to have like the open space and the open environment to say, hey, I didn't like this. And because I didn't like this, it doesn't mean I don't want to be friends with you anymore. It just means that, hey, maybe we can work on things differently. Maybe we could talk about these things and figure out, well, why did you do this? Or why did you say this? Or why did you feel like this was okay? Because I think a lot of people are so easy, especially I think our generation, or we're so easy to just give up on people.
Mhm.
And instead of just trying to figure out, okay, well, we're two different people. We're still trying to figure out our friendship. And I know I'm not gonna always understand you or get you, but that doesn't mean I should just cancel you altogether. But I think the biggest thing about it is that, as you said, are you willing to put in that work? Are you willing and able to actually have that conversation? Or is it going to be one person just talking the whole time and another person is just like trying to ignore the other person? I think that's the biggest problem. And I think, especially with friendships, I think friendships mean different. It has a different definition for everybody, because some people might consider a friendship as someone just listening to all their problems. and,
Yeah.
and then some people might think of friendship is you guys just hanging out and
Mhm.
not talking about anything on a deeper level. It's everything surface level. Or some people might think that friendships are you guys literally having 2 3 hour conversations. So I think the problem is, especially with the idea of friendships, is that it's so big and it's so broad that we don't specify what we're looking for in a friendship when we
Mhm.
first initially meet someone. We just think that, okay, well, I think this person is my friend because they do A, B, C, D. Whereas the other person might think, okay, well, this is just a cool acquaintance that I know. And you get the mixed signals and you don't know exactly, well, where you guys stand. So
Yeah, I'm okay with having friends like in the sense of a loose term.
mhm.
But like don't think that I'm going to consider you like someone who's going to stick around forever, like through a breakup if it were to happen or anything like that. Like, I'm not going to expect that because you're just my friend, and that's just a loose term. Like, there's just different relationships that you can have with people, and it's just like all confusing, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking about talking about feelings, on one of the earlier episodes, I talked on the episode where we talked about being friends with the opposite sex. I mentioned that there was a friend, a male friend that I had at work that like just disappeared.
Yeah.
Well, after I recorded that episode, I was like, is he gonna listen to this? Like, I was just waiting for him to like say, I heard this episode and I know it's about me, because he would know. He would know
Yeah.
it was about him.
Yeah.
I just ended up telling him like, if you're gonna listen to the podcast, like I talked about you, and I said that you ghosted after your girlfriend moved in and all that stuff, and I just said like I just I just expect a lot out of friendships. Like I thought we were friends. We talked all the time. Like we were talking on Instagram, we were texting. Like I always heard from you. And then it's like you disappeared. So that's basically what I said on the show, just so you know. But that was also like another way for me to tell him how I feel. And he explained to me like that he just had a lot going on. And then we talked a lot again after that. Like it got back to normal. So it was almost like worth it to tell someone how I feel, because things got better after that. So
Yeah, I think that's powerful. Like, yeah, you use the podcast as a vessel to get there, but you but you got there. That's the beautiful thing. Like, it's if you consider somebody a friend, you should be able to be honest with them. Like, I think that's the biggest thing about friendships that I've learned is that um, if you're not honest with that person and you consider somebody that person your friend, like what kind of friendship is that? Like, why do you have to hide things from them? Why do you have to not disclose things from them? Yeah, you may have things that you want to wait to tell them when the time is right, and that's fine. But at the same time, if you're that type of person that you just say, okay, I'm not going to tell this person because I know this how this person's going to react, or I know how this person's going to think of me and things of that nature. Is that really a friendship, or is that someone that you guys are just cool, but you're not willing to share that other part of your life with that person?
yeah.
So, and I mean, yeah, the jealousy happens in friendships, mistrust, things of that nature. But I think the big, as I will come to learn, is all about the quality of friends you have, not the quantity. Because as you said, you might not have a lot of friends, but maybe you have 2 or 3 friends that are just solid. Like they're solid friends. And yeah, you may want to expand those numbers, but at least at the end of the day, you have those people that you always go to and talk to. So
Yes, exactly. I just had something in my head to say to you, but I lost it. No, it's back. It's
okay,
back.
okay.
So, I have a hard time like getting close to people. I'm sure you've noticed that by now. I just don't like it like anymore. Before, I used to just pour into everybody so much. And after like ending those relationships with all those people that I gave so much to, I just don't even know how to be like that anymore. Like I just don't even know what to do. I feel like it's something I probably should work on in therapy. Like I just don't know how to be close to people, and I have a lot of high expectations out of people, and I just don't want to get hurt by people anymore. I had to learn the really, really hard way that I am all I need. Me and God, of course. But not everybody believes in God. So, yeah, I had to learn that the really hard way. And so I don't know, like, how do you unlearn that? Or how do you have relationships with people and like not feel like you need them for your existence? And also, I don't like to vent to people. I don't like to tell people my problems because I feel like it's a burden, number one. And number two, too many different opinions from people is too much in my brain. And I also had to learn the hard way that I know what's best for me. Like, no one else can know what's best for me other than me, because it's me living my life. So I feel no actual real need to like go to a friend. Now, if I happen to get really, really desperate, which I have, because I know I've talked to you about things, I'm gonna be very, very selective about who I'm going to. Like, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, this person is like emotionally mature and I know they'll have something good to say and they're not gonna judge me for what I'm saying right now. But again, that's like only desperate measures. Like, if my next therapy appointment is far away, like, I will do that, but I rather not.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. But I was literally, I felt it in my spirit. I was about to coach you, but I said, let me stop.
I'm actually saying this so like our listeners can hear like what you think about that, because you're a
Yeah,
relationship coach, and
yeah,
this could be like a little peer into like what you do and how you help people. So go for it.
yeah. So I think and I'll talk about my side as well. So that way it's not like it's just a one-sided conversation. But for me, when I was listening to this, it really spoke to me, the idea of like learned behavior. So I understand that, as you said, that you had to accustom yourself to think about it's only me, is I have to work, I have to focus on myself, and that's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you can't let past situations and past hurt mold you into the person that you have to just be a solo dolo type person. I think that's the biggest thing is like, yeah, you were hurt. Yeah, you were lied to and mistreated, and I get that. But at the same time, there's more of you that you have to free yourself for. There's more that happened in those X amount of years. Not to say that we're taking them and erasing them, because they did happen and you learn from them. But at the same time, those are those X amount of years, but that doesn't mean that's the rest of your life. Like the rest of your life, your life did not stop at those situations. Your life didn't stop at those moments that hurt you. It was something that you went through, and you have to continue to go through so you can reach those points of your happiness and your joy and your peace. And I think the biggest thing about it is that I agree with you that you don't have to depend on anybody to make you happy, but there are beautiful, beautiful things that happen when you allow other people to enhance your happiness. Just like your relationship with Jackie, she's there to enhance your happiness. She's there to share her life with you so that you can see different perspectives and different ideas and different feelings and different mindsets that you're not used to. And I think that's the biggest thing that we lose sight on is if we choose to be by ourselves, we're not learning from other people. So, as I said, I think it's beautiful that you're able to realize that, hey, I have to love myself, I have to care about myself, I have to be there for myself. But at the same time, there are other people in this world that want to care about you, that want to spend time with you, that want to feel that type of love that you give, to understand, well, how does Jackie think about this? How does Jackie share? How does Jackie love? How does Jackie appreciate? What is something that I can learn from Jackie? Because there are people that are looking for that. Not to say that you're going to meet them after this podcast, but you may meet them soon.
Mhm.
But if that person comes in your presence and you feel like it's only about me, they're going to walk away. So it's all about allowing yourself. And it doesn't mean you have to open up completely. It just means that you have to open the door a little bit so you're allowing yourself to see the possibilities that you're not used to. And I think that's the biggest thing that will allow you to say, hey, I know that I was hurt. I know that things happened to me that I didn't like, but that doesn't mean that that's every single person in this world that's going to do that to me. I know that there are people out there that are willing to actually care about me in ways that I haven't experienced yet. So that's just my 2 cents about it. So
Yeah, I do believe that. And also another thing, this thought process also applies to my relationship. Like I already was with someone that I thought I was going to be with for the rest of my life, and like I didn't even have to plan anything, like that was it. And that's not what ended up happening. And yeah, so I feel like even dating going forward after that is hard because I can't let myself think that anymore, and I'm not going to. That's why I feel like I speak like if we were to break up, because nobody hears you saying that about your wife. Like if we were to break up, you've never once said that. And I feel like I say that so much that I like make people think we're going to break up, or I think about it. But to
mhm.
be honest, I do need to make sure, I guess, that I have a plan for myself, or that I'm able to go on without her. Like if we break up, I will do this. Like I already know, like I'll be fine.
Yeah, and trust me, there's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't. If anybody says that there's something wrong with that, that's not true, because you would hope something to last forever, but you have to be realistic about it all. That what if it doesn't? And but at the same time, I think for me and you, the difference between like when I don't say that type of stuff and you don't say that type of stuff, I think I'm more optimistic, as you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And
true.
yeah, and I'm more optimistic of the fact that I do believe that it's gonna last forever. And sometimes optimism can hurt you, and it has hurt me in the past. But at the same time, I know that I'm gonna do everything in my power that I possibly can to make sure that this relationship works. And not to say that you're not trying it, but I think that you're not doing that right now, which I believe you are.
Mhm.
You live with your fiance now, so obviously you're doing something to keep it going. But I think the biggest thing is that I don't really focus on the part that it may not work out. I
Mhm.
do keep it in the back of my head, but at the same time, I still want to focus on what else can I do at this moment to make sure it lasts and stays. the way that I want it to be. So
that makes sense. My mentality is definitely like, it's not going to work out. And when it doesn't, XYZ, like that's just the way my brain is. But also, enough about me. How do you keep friendships going? Like, I know you have the super power ability to have no expectations out of people, which I think is like a major key to like having friendships.
yeah, I had to learn that the hard way. Honestly, I had back in the day when I was living in New York, I had friends that I thought were friends, but at the end of the day, they weren't really friends. And I moved to Georgia. I thought I had friends that I really thought were friends, but weren't really friends. And I just I got tired of hurt. I got tired of being hurt. Like, dang, I thought this was my friend, and they're talking bad about me. They they didn't want to spend time with me. They'd rather be with other people rather than trying to talk to me and things of that nature. And it hurt. So I was like, you know what? There has to be another way. Not to say that I should close my heart forever,
Mhm.
but I feel like there had to be an alternative. I can't just go to the dark side and that's it. Like that was the only option that I thought was left. And until I realized that, hey, it's better to have no expectations than to have all expectations. And I think that's what kept me going and allowed me to meet all these different people. Because when I meet these people and I meet new people, I don't expect anything from them. And that's the biggest thing. If I start expecting things from people that I just meet, you're gonna get disappointed. Not to say that they may be doing it intentionally, but at the same time, you don't know where their mind is. You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what they see in you because we can't read minds. But it's better for me to have no expectations and then for them to build my expectations instead of me building expectations for them and it ends up hurting me. I want I'm going to be pleasant. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be loving. I'm going to be myself. But at the same time, it's up to you as a friend to build the expectations in my mind to say that, okay, I feel like this is the type of person I want to be friends with. Because I'm traveling all the time and I meet people all the time. I literally had a 2-hour conversation with my Lyft driver in New York, and he was telling me all these different stuff about his life, and it was awesome. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna go say, "Hey, you were my Lyft driver in New York. Hey, when I'm back in New York, you want to hang out?" No, not at all. I'm not going to do that. So that's the perfect example I could give is having no expectations because we had great conversation. We had a lot of things in common. We're talking about a lot of great things, but at the same time, I'm not having expectations for him to be my best friend. I have to see more. I have to do more, and that's the beautiful thing about it. As I said, if it goes nowhere in your first meeting, let it not go anywhere. They'll say, "Oh man, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that." It's not meant to be. If that person comes back in your life, sure, maybe you guys start to do something. But if you feel the vibe is not right, Miss Vibe, as I'm talking to you, so if you feel the vibe is not right, then the vibe is not right. But it's better to have no expectations and protect yourself a little bit rather than saying that I'm going to have expectations in this and I'm just going to be hurt because 9 times out of 10, you could get hurt.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree. I think I let things happen naturally now as I'm meeting people all the time because again, my social butterfly of a fiance is always having people around. So I do socialize with people. We exchange phone numbers if it happens, we text if it happens, but I just let it happen naturally. And like I said, it's not like I'm claiming them as mine. And if we were to break up, they're mine. Like I don't know. And that's fine. But again, that's not like my friends that are family type of thing that I'm looking for. So I'll let that happen naturally. It's not like every person I meet, I'm gonna be like, you're gonna be my new family. But I believe in human connection so much. I cannot accept that I am meant to be alone because things didn't, I had to cut off my relationship with my family. I need human connection. I think that's fine. I think it's fine if I want friends that are family, and I think it's fine that I think someday I will get that, and that's what I want out of friends. Like I think that that is fine.
yeah, and I agree. And the thing that was speaking to me as you were talking, I try to be in tune with my feelings when we get into this level. I feel the heat, I feel the energy as a coach, as a person. And you you can't expect people to see you for who you are in the first the first very time that you meet them. Let people let people enjoy you. Let people enjoy your company. Let people enjoy the way you move, the way you do things. And if they don't, they don't. But if they do, be open for it. And I think that's the biggest thing about it is that, you know, we all love differently. We all see things differently. We all have different mindsets. We all believe in things differently. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that just because you're different doesn't mean you can't be friends. Just because you don't see things eye to eye doesn't mean you can't be friends. One of my best friends I met in 8th grade, and he's in the Air Force now. He's stationed in Japan. We are complete opposites. We are complete opposites. We have a lot of things in common. Don't get me wrong. And he's going to probably listen to this podcast too. But we have a lot of things that are common. We both are nerds, we both love anime, things like that. But he is the most blunt person that you will ever meet. He is the most blunt person you ever meet. And I'm not like that. And I appreciate that about him because he has the type of courage that I will never have to be as blunt as that. But at the same time, I'm complete opposite of him because I know how to talk to people a little bit better. And I think the biggest thing about it is that we have to remember that no matter who you meet, you don't know what happened to them in the past. You don't know what they went through. So if you open your heart and have no expectations and you allow yourself to just see what that person is, you'll know. You'll get that feeling. You'll get that, okay, this might be my family in the future. This
Yeah.
might be that person. Or it's like, nah, I don't like the way this person moves. You remind me of someone that I don't want to be around. And that's it. And you'll be good. And the last thing I was gonna say is that my wife has a little similar issue than with you about how she wants to have friends. She wants to have more friends and things of that nature, but she's just not she's not open. She's not open to as me. She's not as open as me as far as like having conversations with people. She's a little standoffish, which is completely fine. She's more reserved, which is completely fine. But I try to tell her like, okay, I understand that you are fine being who you are. But at the same time, are you open to allowing other people to be who they are? And that's the problem that some people have when trying to make friends is that you're looking for someone that's just like you. That doesn't mean that just because you meet someone that's just like you, you'll be friends. It doesn't mean that you meet somebody that's completely opposite and you guys will be friends. Just allow them to be themselves and allow yourself to be yourself and let's see what happens. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I do have emotional expectations out of friends though. Like if we are friends already, like we have an established friendship, then I expect you to kind of like talk about things with me, like share your feelings with me, be open to accepting my feelings, like know that just because we're friends doesn't mean everything you do is okay and
yeah.
everything that I do is okay. Because that's not the case. Just to name one of the few expectations I have out of friends.
Mhm.
um but yeah, I forgot what else I was gonna say. I had a lot of thoughts while you were talking because when you talk I just think instead of listening.
But that's
Like
that's
I'm
good. That's good
listening.
though. That's good. That's good. I love that. I love that because it allows you to see things that are different from you.
Yeah,
And we have different ideas and different perspectives. And I love that you're thinking, yeah, I know that you're listening. I know. I'm not mad at you. So, I know that you're listening and I know that but I value that you're thinking about your life or your situation while I'm talking as well, because it allows you to say, okay, I
yeah,
didn't think about it this way. And I
it
love
allows.
that moment.
All right, I just remembered you
Okay.
said something about how when you allow people to be themselves, you can see them for who they are. You can decide whether or not like you want to keep them around. Well, what I thought of was when you improve yourself as a person and you constantly work on yourself and you're making sure that you're living with integrity, you're not gossiping about people, you're doing good, you're being good, you're kind, you're respectful, you're putting out good energy into the universe. I strongly believe that only good people will come around you. Like before, when I wasn't the best person, I had like all types of like bad friends around me. Like I had friends that gossiped about me, that I felt were jealous of me and things like that. But nowadays there's never anyone that crosses my path or comes into my home that I'm just like, I don't like you. It's always people that I like. I attracted a partner who matches like my level of integrity in life. So anyone she brings over is the same. So yeah, if you're a good person, good people will come to you. You don't get to have good people if you're out here being shitty.
Well said. Well said. I think that says it all. And I think the beautiful thing about is that just meet people where they are. If you meet that person and you have conversations, and sometimes I think the hardest thing about friendships is that sometimes people don't expose who they are right away, and that's fine. You don't have to expose yourself right away. Some people wear masks. A lot of people wear masks. And then, but once you start to talk to someone, you get those little things in your head, like, okay, oh, this person said that. I don't know about that one. Or they feel comfortable talking about other people with me. I don't know about that one. So it's you see what kind of level person that person is, and just meet them where they are. Okay, if that's who you are, you're not for me, and that's it. So
Yeah, same for me. Like, and I'll say to Jacky, like, if we were hanging out with someone and they're like gossiping about someone and they leave, I'll be like, so and so is gossiping, and that's fine if this is your friend, but they're not my friend. Like, I'll be nice to them when they come around and everything like that, but I saw what I needed to see and immediately no.
yeah.
That's from an Instagram reel. I could tell you don't watch Instagram reels.
I don't. I make Instagram reels, but I don't be watching them. I really don't.
Well, they're funny, okay? So you gotta watch them. But
I will.
this is the only thing I had to say. There was another thing. So gossiping and what else did you say? Give me a little recap.
Gossiping, meeting people where they are, checking the vibes of how they are. I think that's pretty much it, like I said.
I lost it. Oh my God, that's the worst.
It's all good. It'll come back. It'll come back. Maybe if I start talking some more. I guess one thing I was thinking about is, what do we define as friendships? I think that's a good question too. Like, I mean, because as I said before, everybody defines friendships differently. So I'm curious to think about, what do you define as a friend? I know you talked about it bits and pieces here and there, but for the listeners out there, that's like, hey, I want to be Jacky's friend, or hey, I want to be David's friend. What I guess what will fit the criteria for being a friend? And I guess I'll go first. Why not? But for me, I think a friend is someone that's willing to share who they are. And I've had criticism before from you and other friends that I had to share myself more, be open. And it's not because I don't want to be open, it's just I'm just so used to listening to people and being a quote unquote good listener that I don't feel like I need to share. But I love when I share and they share and we get to learn something from each other. I think that's the biggest thing. Another thing is that you are willing to grow from where you are at this moment. I think that's the biggest thing for me. I understand that you may feel like you're fine where you are. I get that. But for me, I'm constantly trying to learn. I'm constantly trying to be better. I'm constantly trying to figure out things that will help me in the future, whether it's in my relationships, whether it's in my friendships, whether it's in being a better coach, whether it's me being a better individual and a human being. I'm constantly trying to learn. So you have to be willing and able to be learning. What else? What's another thing? I guess the third thing for me is that have an open heart. I think that's the biggest thing. And I guess, what's an open heart, David? Basically, an open heart is just someone that's willing to be compassionate and caring and loving. And I know we go through things in our past that may have stopped that or stunted that, but at least you're willing and able to learn more about it. Like, you're willing to care more and learn how to be caring more. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Those are the main three things for me that will qualify. I didn't say anything about race. I didn't say anything about color or orientation or religion. I believe what I believe in, and I feel like that should have stopped me from caring about other people who believe in something else different. Now, if I rub my ideologies and beliefs off you, and you start to believe in the same things I believe in, that's beautiful. I'm all for it. But if you learn something different, and you believe in something different, that's completely fine as well. So
Yeah. I like those. So I was trying to think of mine, but reciprocation is what makes a friendship for me. Whatever I'm giving to you, if you're giving it back, then we're good. Also, like, people, this falls under the umbrella of reciprocation, but like not reaching out to me just because you need something, like you have a problem or you have a question. Like, you are genuinely talking to me because you want to talk to me, you want to see how I am, and you enjoy chatting with me, not using me. Because I feel like because people know that I have like emotional intelligence and I could be therapeutic. Sometimes people will just only talk to me just for that, and that could be very draining. Like, I'm a human and I need to just have friendly conversations, not like talk to people who need something from me. Um, but yeah, I think that's a good way to start being my friend. Reciprocation, just that in itself will eventually like build on it. And reciprocation pretty much covers everything, like talking about our feelings, apologizing, forgiving, spending time with each other, and all of that.
that's awesome. That's awesome. I like yours too. Yours is cool. I guess that's why we're friends, huh? But
Yeah, must be.
I guess one last question I think I had as you were talking. See, I was thinking while you were talking too. So
How dare you?
um, what do you feel like is one thing you've missed in a friendship that you feel like you don't have, if any, if any? What is one thing you think that you're missing in a friendship that you may have not received yet, or maybe you feel like you have that thing in the friendships, and maybe that one thing you want to share that maybe other people might value as well. I guess for me, since I asked the question, for me, I would say, I think I've gained everything that I want in friendships from different people. Not to say that every single person is meeting all criterias, because I feel like friendships don't have to be cookie cutter for every single person. I think you might get something from one friend, you might get something from another friend, and vice versa. Somebody might get one thing from me, and another person might get something different from me, which is completely fine. So I think the one thing that I value the most in a friendship that I feel like I do receive is that people care. I think the biggest thing for me is that I would hope that if something went wrong in my life or something happened to me, that they will care enough about me. And I think that's the biggest thing that I value. One of the main things about the most about friendships is that people care. Because I did go through a long time in my life where I feel like nobody cared about me. But I do feel that now. I do feel that now. So that's the thing for me.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely in that phase. Like, it's been a long time since I feel like people don't care about me, but um my answer is going to be the same for this: reciprocation. That's what I'm missing. That's what I want. Yeah, I just don't have like a super close friend like I would want. I don't have that. I had a couple best friends before I got divorced, and coincidentally, or maybe not, those friendships ended for separate reasons right after my divorce. So I haven't really had a really close friend like that in a long time.
Mm.
Thankfully, one of the girls who was my best friend, actually, we followed each other on Instagram again, and she messaged me and apologized for how things went. So that was nice. But she lives in Florida now, and things are just not the same. You know, it went down the way it went down, and it'll never be the same again. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. That friendship served its purpose in my life at that time. But yeah, that's what I'm missing. Also, just so you know, we have 7 minutes left.
Yeah. um, I had a question while you were talking. Um, what do you feel about any relationships or having a need to end relationships? Do you feel like it's something that must be done and it is what it is, or are you the type of person that feels like you want to keep all your friendships?
I would like to keep all my friendships. That was probably one of the biggest lessons that life taught me after my divorce, is that nothing's permanent. Like, even we think our parents are permanent, like aside from death, of course,
Yeah.
we think our parents are permanent, and that's even something that wasn't permanent to me. Like, I haven't had one adult human being that has been permanent for me. So, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense that I feel the way that I do about things. But yeah, I would like people to stay around. If it's a deep, strong connection, yes, I would.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and unfortunately, I'm learning. I mean, you learn every day, but I'm learning that it's okay to let people go that are not willing to be your friend anymore, or you feel like you don't need to be their friend anymore. I think that's the biggest thing because I'm a caregiver. I have a caregiver nature. I've owned up to it, but at the same time, I want everybody to be good. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be great, joyous, loving, all these different stuff, but I might not be that person for other people. I might not be the person that someone needs in their life as a friend. And I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay with that. No matter how many times I reach out to this person, no matter how many times I try to keep the relationship going, I have to be okay with, hey, it's just not working out. And I think the biggest thing about it is that as people get older, people change too. People's lifestyle changes, people's attitudes change, people's viewpoints change, and we have to be okay with, hey, we were friends when you were like this, but now that you're like this, maybe we don't need to be friends.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. I had to learn that the hard way, of course, as you learn anything in life. But yeah, when people change, you don't have to be friends with them. And as you know, I believe that about family as well. But that's a whole conversation for a whole nother day.
Yes. That might be, yeah, we might add that to the list. Families,
Yeah.
families. So I think we have a couple family conversations coming up, so that'd be
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Yes, go ahead. I know you had something you were gonna say.
Oh, did I raise my hand?
Yeah.
No, no, I'm good. I can't open any other cans of worms because we have to start, saying goodbye. So sorry if you were enjoying this episode. It's sadly time to say goodbye.
I know this was so good. It was such a good conversation.
It was good. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, well, I don't know a damn thing about Friends, but I guess I do.
I guess you do.
So I hope that you guys learned something throughout this conversation. Hopefully, you can take some things away with you. If you're looking for a friend, we're here. We're your friend.
Yeah.
So hit us up. As always, our DMs are open and we would love to hear from you guys. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, we're definitely looking for podcast friends. Be our podcast buddies. We might have to, if we have more friends that we start growing a fan base, we need to start naming our fan base group. But we'll get there when it comes. So,
Yeah.
but with that being said, we thank you so much for listening and watching and all that jazz. If you haven't already, I don't know what you're doing, but go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page with Heart and Soul Podcast. You can see our lovely faces on every episode that we record. If you're not subscribing to our podcast channels, please do so. We're on all the major podcast stations. And if you can't find us, let us know because we'll go ahead and subscribe to that so you can listen to us. Follow us on Instagram with Heart and Soul Podcast. Follow Jacky's business, See Where We Land. Follow me on my coaching relationship business on Collab Coaching. Like and subscribe on YouTube for Collab Coaching as well. That way you don't miss out on any of my series. Follow us on Instagram. That way you don't miss out on our posts, and DM us with your questions and your thoughts of friendships as well. And did I miss anything? I think I covered everything.
That was everything in the world. You said it.
I did. And with that, thank you so much for watching. And share this podcast, share the Instagram, share the YouTube with anyone. We're also on SoundCloud. Share the SoundCloud with anyone that you feel like needs this conversation, and talk to us. Tell us how you feel about it. Give us feedback because we're all open for it. And be our friends. Be our friends. We're welcoming with that as well. And with that, thank you so much. And we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.